Successful European explorers, including Columbus and Vasco da Gama, could explore, trade, enslave, or kill the indigenous people. Columbus was recalled in part because of his thuggish behavior. People around the world understood the benefits of trade if only the Europeans stopped there. The Catholic Church participated in the villainy of conquest, claiming the doctrine of discovery. Asserting European superiority and divine destiny, indigenous peoples were proclaimed pagans with no government nor religion. Therefore, the so-called devout Christians had the authority to do what they wanted after stating their willingness to convert the heathens to Christianity. Slavery goes back to the ancient world, and African captives were a major export, along with gold and various food items. Europeans expanded the slave trade for export to the New World, particularly the Caribbean islands and Brazilian sugar plantations. The first slaves arrived in Hispaniola in 1502. Sugarcane thrives in tropical rainforests where it is hot and wet. India and the Far East were not convenient for European capitalists. Tropical lands near Europe were more favorable. Sugar plantations appeared on islands in the Atlantic Ocean in the 15th century. This started the process of slavery and ecological destruction. As the Spanish focused on gold and silver in Mesoamerica, the Portuguese were the first to consider sugar as a source of wealth and power in the New World. With indigenous peoples dying quickly, they replaced them with African slaves. The big Portuguese colony was Brazil, and sugar plantations using African slaves proved successful. With growing demand for sugar, hundreds of plantations were created. Other ruthless European capitalists followed, mainly using Caribbean islands. Caribbean islands were transformed into sugar plantations with fields and mills for refining the crop. Sugarcane thrived on flatlands near the coast where the soil was more fertile, with the added advantage of being near shipping ports. Mountainous regions could be planted in coffee and other crops. Given the refining mills, rum was an obvious extension of sugar profits. Rum is made from fermenting and distilling molasses, a byproduct, with Brazilian records going back to 1520, with that technology transferred across the sugar-producing Caribbean. Given how profitable the trade was, the other Western European countries fought for control of the Caribbean islands for the next several centuries. It started with Spain and Portugal, then the Dutch quickly moved in, beginning with New Holland near Brazil in 1630. Then France invaded Jamaica and Barbados. The British colonized many islands known as the British West Indies. The various islands would change hands mainly due to wars and ongoing attacks. On many sugar plantations, conditions were so bad that slaves died quickly and had to be continuously replaced. Until the slave trade was banned by all European countries, it is likely that 12 million Africans were destined for slavery in the New World. Their brutality led to slave uprisings. Next time on Food History and Mystery.